Hi, you're welcome to Success Tips. In this video today, we will be discussing about the negative impact of your peer group on your success and career in life. One of the common impact that is associated with peer group is peer pressure. Peer pressure has been one of the most leading cause of failure to especially young people that are starting off in life. You will see a young man who have been saving money for 2 years, and then all of a sudden that person will just go and take all of that money and then buy a car, which was even in no way a necessity to him or her. And this mostly happens simply because their friends owns a car. I have seen people hold an extravagant wedding, the so-called one in town kind of a wedding, on credit, and in return they spend months trying to settle their debt using their own income. And all this happened because Mr. A and Mr. B, who happened to be within their own cycle, had a very shiny wedding. Resources which were supposed to be used and then allocated for more important things in life will now be channeled to a direction where it is not even necessary or a priority. Why do people fall for peer pressure? Why do people always find themselves under pressure to do things that are not a necessity to them, things that are not important to them, things that are not their own priority given their dreams and pursuit in life? There are 3 major reasons that makes people to fall for peer pressure, and we are going to be discussing this one at a time. The first reason is that people want to feel among. There's this kind of intimidation and feeling that comes when it happens to be that all your friends are using iPhone but you don't have one. Such feeling comes with strength and force that is strong enough to be able to push an individual to use their own resources which was allocated for something different, now all of a sudden channeled to something that was never in the plan. And that happens simply because they don't want to feel intimidated. This very reason has been a major reason behind a lot of aborted dreams in life. The second thing that makes people fall for peer pressure is elevated test. One of the biggest traps for anyone coming up in life is to be too close and too associated with people that have already made it in life, to an extent that they begin to test the comfort and the good life that comes with such success that the successful people have already attained. You will see an individual that cannot even afford a bicycle, but you will see him all the time gallivanting in a Prado Jeep, a Jeep that belongs to a friend or a family friend, but because he is too close to them, he have already created that kind of feeling and the test in his mind that, okay, owning a car is a necessity to me even when it is not a necessity. And before you know it, that experience now have ended up elevating his own test such that even if a bicycle is what he or she can afford, they will no longer be interested in a bicycle. All that will be running through their mind is, I want to buy a Prado Jeep. Another scenario in this very aspect is that you may see an individual that is coming from a family that cannot even afford the basic appliances, they don't have electricity around their own hometown or things like that, but then simply because they have a family friend or he has a friend that have a very big family house, have air conditioner, have television, have all the basic amenities, but then that person will now switch from sleeping in their own house to sleeping in that person's or that friend's family house, to an extent that that person will now get used to the use of air conditioner, the use of free internet, the use of television and all things like that. And with all that, a time is going to come when that person is going to get used to all those good life and comfortable life, and then when the first job lands, the first thing that comes to the mind of that person is, I think I need to build for myself a very big house. I think I need to have a television in my house. I think I need to have an internet in my house. And all those kind of feelings will start coming, okay? That person may not have that, opportunity to sit down and then think through and then imagine the kind of things he can be able to do in order to build up his financial capacity using that money. All that will be running through his mind because of that elevated test is the feeling of a good life that he or she cannot be able to afford at that moment. And before you know it, that person may be lavishly wasting that money into building such kind of houses, and then before you know it, the person will retire, and then if you look at the house, there will be nothing to write home about at that era. And that is how an opportunity that could have been used to build a mega business is wasted. Peer pressure is one of the biggest things that have landed a lot of people into the land of failures. Let me tell you this, it is a very big trap for you to start enjoying things that your level have not reached there yet. And this is simply because you will get used to it to an extent that you will now find it very difficult to plan your life for a better future. Most especially if you have very limited resources at that moment that should be used to plan your life and then build your own dream, but then you will be struggling to create the kind of life that is ordinarily beyond your own capacity and affordability. reality. And that is how you will miss the opportunity of building your own future. I believe you now understand the impact of an elevated test, when it comes to your own success in life. Now, the third thing that makes someone to fall for peer pressure is that feeling of wanting to prove a point or wanting to intimidate someone. One of the signs that you will struggle financially in the future is when you start purchasing or acquiring things that are not a necessity, but you are acquiring them simply because you want to prove a point to another person. Such practice and mindset will make it very difficult for you to plan your own finances. What you don't need but then buy it simply because you want to intimidate or prove a point to another person is always going to be the beginning of your biggest problem in life. And I will want you to watch out for these three major factors that makes people to fall for peer pressure, because it is going to be a great liberation for you in a lifetime. Now, this takes us to the last part of this video. How can one avoid peer pressure? Okay, how can one be able to escape the dangers, the consequence of peer pressure? There are two major things that if you can be able to put your mind on at all the time, then you can never fall under peer pressure. The first thing you need to do is to know where you are coming from. Are you coming from a background where there's no financial stability? Are you trying to build your own future from the scratch where there's no any financial support being expected from anywhere? Are you coming from a family that cannot afford the basic appliances and everybody is struggling financially? And many other situations that may happen around your own life. Whichever one that resonates with your own reality, please try to make peace with that situation. And then from there, you need to acknowledge that you cannot then be like every other person that can be able to afford a better life than you do at that moment. If only you can realize that, then you will never have any problem with a low-key wedding. Trekking to wherever you want to go will never be a shameful thing to you again. Living in a single room will never be something that you will be ashamed of. You will discover that you are always yourself, and then you will now find it very easy, to plan your life, plan the limited resources that you have access to, and then before you know it, you will be on your way to setting up your future. Whenever successful people want to come around you, whenever the rich kid wants to carry you too close to themselves, whenever they try to give you the kind of comfort that you cannot be able to afford, try as much as possible to avoid it. All you should be trying to do is to try your best to be able to live the kind of life that you can be able to afford, okay? Try to live a good life as much as you can within your own means, but avoid getting too close with whoever that have gone too far in life. I am telling you this because this is one of the things that have landed a lot of people into problem, okay? When people that have already made it in life come closer to you, then make it to look like they are your mentors, okay? Translate it to be something like a mentor and a mentee kind of a relationship. Then use that as an opportunity to be able to, learn from them. Use that as an opportunity for them to show you the way. Use that as an opportunity, to learn from their own experience, but never to just sit down, fold your hands, and then start enjoying what you cannot be able to afford a quarter of it at that moment. And that can only be possible, it can only be possible for you to avoid such if you know where exactly you are coming from. The second thing you need to do if you want to avoid the impact of a peer pressure is to know where you are going to, know where you are heading to. You should know where your dream lies. You should know where your destination is. It has always been true that whoever knows where he is heading to will always plan to draft out his goals and objectives to play by. It has also been true that whoever that knows where they are heading to will always be determined and focused, such that peer pressure will be the last concern that he has. Imagine that you have already planned your life and then you are pursuing your dream of moving to the city, to go and start a mega business, and then all of a sudden you begin to see that all your friends in that area are purchasing cars. If you are actually knowing where you are heading to, then you will begin to see those people and even pity them, okay? Instead of you falling under peer pressure, the first thing that will come to your mind is that, oh my goodness, oh how I wish those people know what exactly they can be able to use this money for, then they will not be purchasing this car. You will never be affected by, what your friends and the people within your cycle are purchasing with their own money. And that kind of a mindset will only be possible if you know where you are heading to. When you know where you are heading to in life, you will always be protected from distractions. You will always be protected from intimidations. You will always be protected from peer pressure of any sort. Now, having come to this minute of this video, I have one assignment for you. I will want you to design out a daily quiet moment for yourself, okay? It can be 30 minutes a day. It can be just 20 minutes a day. And then always sit down and then write down your destination, okay? Write down the kind of dreams you want to be achieving. Write down the kind of things you are admiring in life, and then from there you sit down and start writing down the steps and the strategies that you will need to play by in order to reach those destinations. Believe you me, if you do that, you will watch yourself conquer peer pressure, and then you will walk majestically into your dream life. And before I bring this video to an end, I will want you to tell me in the comment section one thing that you have learned on this video. So I hope you have found a lot of value in this video. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I will want you to click on the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so that when the next content comes up, you will be notified. And if you are a returning viewer, I would love to say thank you. I will need one favor from you guys. Please share this video with just one person. Thank you, and see you guys in another video. Bye.